Good evening, citizens of Portsmouth, and welcome to our first Portsmouth City Council meeting for 2026. I want to welcome everyone and thank you all for coming, all of our citizens, our young people that are in the audience with us today. Also want to acknowledge our city staff that is with us here this evening, who will be helping us throughout the night. And I want to make note that we have with us our city manager, Mr. Stephen Carter, our interim city attorney, Mr. Derek Challenger, and our city clerk, Ms. Deborah White. I will, at this point, ask all my colleagues on city council to acknowledge their presence electronically.
Seven members of City Council are present.
The first order of our agenda tonight will be a moment of silence, followed by a pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have already acknowledged our presence here as council members, and now I will move on to minutes. And we have a call meeting on December 9th, 2025, and a regular meeting on December 9th, 2025. Do we have a motion and a second to approve the meeting?
Move adoption.
Minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote electronically.
The minutes are adopted 7-0.
Moving to the next item on our agenda, we have a presentation, and it is a presentation that we're excited to have. So if I could ask all of the team and the coaching staff and leadership team of the non-U team, United Youth Football and Cheerleading National Championship team, to come forward.
Way to
How
go,
you doing?
coaches.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you all for joining us, and we're really excited about acknowledging your success this past year. So we will begin. Everybody in place? Whereas the Virginia Gators 9U team participated in the United Youth Football and Cheerleading National Championship in Plant City, Florida, and are the proud UYFL national champions. And whereas, as a team, they were dedicated, practiced hard, worked harder, and individually and collectively put forth 110% effort to proudly represent our great city, the city of Portsmouth, Virginia, and the Commonwealth on a national stage. Whereas this team consists of Damian Whitley, Myking Hinton, Kelsey Garland, Cameron Evans, Noah Anderson Brown, Tamir Evans, Tylen Johnson, Tristan Snowden, Rylan White, Amir Hagans, Major White, Jameson Jewell, Kendrick McCoy, Ramir Perez, Aiden Chandler, Donnell Jordan, Caden Boyer, Landon Jordan, Chase Taylor Ward, Injun Carroll, Terrence Taylor, Kamari Carter, Knowledge Jefferson, Jasir Jefferson Anderson, Corey Brown, Trevon Scales, Joseph Bell, Jason Baker, Aiden Hochins, Chase Fanfare, Weston Honey, Owen Williams, Nasir Vaughn, and Jeremy Kilgore. And whereas the Virginia Gators Athletics Organization's leadership team with President Justin Jewell, Vice President Dennis Anderson, Secretary Travis McCoy, Treasurer Stephanie Jewell, and Coach, is that Coach Bo? Okay, I want to make sure. Coach Bo, Coach Eddie Carroll, Coach Dre Higgins, Coach Travis McCoy, Coach Giovanni Strong, Coach Ray Perez, Coach Dame Whitley, Coach DeQuan Sanders, Coach Trey Horn, Coach Ronald Graham, Coach Jesse Hill, Coach Trey Evans, and Team Moms, the most important people. LaKim Johnson and Siobhan Fanfare provided the foundation and support for the 2025 mission to bring the national championship to Portsmouth. Whereas we, the citizens of this community, desire to honor these athletes for their proficiency, physical conditioning, and sportsmanship displayed throughout the season. Now, therefore, I, Shannon E. Glover, Mayor of the City of Portsmouth, Virginia, do hereby proclaim January 13th, 2026 as Virginia Gators 9U United Youth Football and Cheerleading Champion Celebration Day. In Portsmouth, and commend this team and the many volunteers for their outstanding accomplishment, in witness whereof and on behalf of the Portsmouth City Council, all of my colleagues who are standing up there, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Portsmouth, Virginia, to be affixed this 13th day of January, 2026. We are so proud of you, young people, and thank you for bringing the championship home. Is there anybody that wants to come and say a few words on behalf of the team? Okay. I need a coach or the leader. If you would identify who you are and just make a few comments.
Yes, sir. So my name is Justin Jewell. I'm the president of the Gators organization. So we set out to bring some of the great athletes that we had from around Hampton Roads. We wanted to bring those great athletes from around Hampton Roads back to Portsmouth. You know, we've played football for a while. Most of them have played together for a while. And we found that a good portion of these athletes were from Portsmouth but traveled outside. So it was important to us to bring everything back into the city. We had quite a few people from the city. I mean, a good portion of our staff it grew up here. And so it was really important to them to have something to be, you know, represented by folks from the city. And I will tell you that the outreach that we've had from the community, I know we've had you out at the field, we've seen you out there. When we first started, when we were in flag, you know, for you to show up, it was buzz all over. Even the mayor's here. So it was really, really big. It really made an impact. You know, the support from Mark and Jackie and the staff of Parks and Rec. We look forward to going back into your office and looking at re-upping for the Sportsplex next year. And so we really look forward to that. But we just, I mean, the last people that I would really like to thank is the other nonprofits in the area who, as soon as they heard that we had something going on, Monica Atkins with Stop the Violence, I mean, just incredible support from her and her team. And they really kind of showed us like, hey, if you want to navigate things in this city and you want to understand how to be a nonprofit here, and this is how you can do it. So kind of their mentorship and guidance for our organization was just incredible. And then, of course, you know, you called out the team moms, but they're all team moms, right? All of them. So the parents in particular.
I just want to say thank you for Portsmouth Parks and Rec for believing in us and giving us a chance to start something great in your city of Portsmouth. Thank you.
Sir, let's take a quick picture, please.
Hello, hey, I'm Eddie Carroll, athletic director for the organization. And there's one more group of individuals we wanted to make sure we thanked. I guess two. One, Miss Shawnee Twyman, the citywide athletic director. She's been an inspiration in showing us kind of how to move about correctly as an organization. So thank you. If you're out here, there she is, she's in the back there, right? And also all of the Portsmouth Public School academic leaders, custodians, athletic individuals that run teams. We've been in contact with all of them, right, in order to try to reach out. And really, one of our big missions here is to try to curb the violence in the city, right? And that starts by getting connected with the educators who are talking to our kids every single day and trying to get them involved with the program so we can keep them off the streets and keep them safe. So thank you to everybody involved with Portsmouth Public Schools as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And look, let's do a repeat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, gentlemen, I want you to know we are going to continue on with our agenda. You're not required to stay throughout the whole meeting, so we just wanted to let you know that. I know you have young people and they have school. You too, sir.
No school tomorrow.
We'll let them clear out.
Kids be at school all the time.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, brother.
Congratulations.
All right.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you, brother.
Take care.
All right, yeah, do that.
Look forward to it. That was excellent.
That was a feel-good moment.
Yeah, it was. Moments like that play well on the Access
Congratulations,
channel.
brother. All right.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Now it's kickoff time.
Madam Clerk, could you please read the council rules for speakers?
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, City Council rules require a limit of up to 5 minutes to speak. As you approach the speaker's podium, you will notice a timer. At the beginning of your 5 minutes, you will see a green light. 4 minutes into your remarks, you will notice a yellow light. At the end of 5 minutes, you will see a red light, hear a beep, and we ask that you conclude your comments at that time. While speakers have an opportunity to address council on matters of public concern, all comments should be made in a manner that respects the seriousness of the forum and should not be made in a belligerent, sarcastic, or demeaning fashion. All remarks shall be directed to the City Council as a body rather than to any particular member of City Council, staff, or the audience, and should be limited to matters that only the Portsmouth City Council can influence. A speaker who fails to observe this basic rule of decorum will be deemed out of order and not allowed to conclude his or her comments.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
The next item on our agenda is public hearing, item 26-07, UP-21-11. And Madam Clerk, could you please read the public hearing resolution we're considering for this item?
Yes, sir. Newport, resolution granting the request of M. Venable for a use permit to construct townhouse dwellings and multifamily dwellings on the property at 3741 Elliott Avenue in the conditional multifamily urban residential URMK zoning district. The property is owned by Newport Property Investors. The future land use map of the Bill 1 Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan designates this property for mixed residential uses. Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions, and the actual resolution, excuse me, reads a resolution granting a use permit UP 2511 to M. Venable to construct townhouse dwellings and multifamily dwellings at 3741 Elliott Avenue.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes,
Is the
sir.
applicant present?
Yes, sir.
If you would come forward, sir, state your name and address. You will have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor Glover, Vice Mayor Moody, members of council, staff. My name is Tim Culpepper. I'm a principal with Canopy Development Group, and our business address is 208 East Plume Street in Norfolk. We're excited to be here with you this evening, although following up the first act is going to be hard. But we are excited to be with you this evening to discuss with you our conditional use permit application for the Newport Phase 2 project. Just a little history on our involvement with Newport and the site overall. This site, Newport Phase 2, as we reference it, is a portion of the overall Newport development plan that was instituted actually almost to the day. It was January 14th in 2004, 22 years ago, when the Newport development plan was first conceived. And the plan as it was originally conceived was in 3 phases, phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 1 is predominantly fully developed, existing residents within phase 1. That project was developed just prior to what I'll refer to as the Great Residential Recession in 2008 and 9. Phases 2 and 3 have remained fallow, undeveloped sites for, again, over 2 decades. The project, because of several market conditions, went through a series of failed attempts to develop the property over the course of the years. But the property was ultimately, we acquired the Newport Phase 2 property, approximately 60 acres of the original development plan, in January of 2025. Our acquisition was via a city tax auction. The Newport property had gone through several rounds of developers starting and stopping. There was some delinquency in taxes. There was some delinquency in CDA bonds, and ultimately, after a couple of failed attempts at a tax auction, we acquired the site last January. Originally, the Newport development plan was in those 3 phases. There was anticipated to be about 1,600 units overall, a little over 1,600 units. Phase 1 was comprised of about 670 units. Phase 2, the phase that is subject to our application this evening and that we own, was about 528 units. And Phase 3, which is on the north side of 264, Phase 3 was anticipated to be 427 units. So that development plan that was conceived 22 years ago, that 2006 is a revised plan date, but that the original intent of that plan was for there to be a mix of residential uses. Traditional single-family detached homes, some townhouse development. There is one section, the multifamily section in Section 3, that is not subject to this tonight, but that had, I believe, some multifamily or some apartment components to that, and some condominiums. It was always intended to be a mix of uses within Newport. Getting more specific to Newport Phase 2, the entire plan for Newport was originally intended to be 528 units. When we acquired the site, we immediately sat down with city staff to understand the existing zoning. There is a 53-page design guideline booklet that really governs the overall development of Newport, that provides for some continuity with development plans. Even though some of these developments are 20 years separated, there is continuity in the plans through those design guidelines. So we immediately upon acquisition sat down with city staff to make sure we understood the zoning, the existing design guidelines, and the plan that you see on the left-hand side of the screen is the original Phase 2 design guidelines site plan. The plan on the right side is the plan that we've submitted to you tonight, a portion of which is subject to a conditional use permit. The property is zoned. It is currently zoned. We are not asking for a rezoning. This is a use that's been intended for over 2 decades. So we are asking for approval of our conditional use permit, which is only applicable to the attached product types, the townhouses and the condominium units within Newport. The city's ordinance requires, even if zoning calls for that you have to get a conditional use permit. Thus our presence here this evening. So we submitted this plan right in May of 2025, again through dialogue and interaction with the staff, understanding the design guidelines. And we also went through the effort of submitting the plan to the department, the zoning administrator, just to confirm that what we had envisioned was in conformance with the original vision for Newport. We were able to get a favorable response from the zoning administrator back in June of 2025. And the zoning administrator did find that our master plan as submitted was in substantial conformance with the plan as it was originally intended. And really there were 4 factors that were driving that approval or conformity. Those were the general layout and overall road configuration, the housing types, the housing mix, and the distribution of housing units, the stormwater management requirements, and the guiding design principles. Those were really the 4 pillars of the approval, and I'm gonna talk just a little bit about each one quickly. So our general road configuration, zoning administrator found that our intent with the way our site is laid out still reflected, quote, still reflects the character and connectivity goals of the original plan. So therefore he found that was a basis for approval or conformity. The second thing, and probably the most important and most relative to why we're here tonight, is the housing types, the unit mix, and the distribution of those units. The zoning administrator determined that the updated unit mix and layout remain consistent with the original vision. The proportion of townhomes, condominiums, and single-family homes in their geographic distribution, higher density on the west, lower density on the east and south, aligns with the existing design guidelines, and the total number of units, what we're planning to do, does not exceed what was originally intended. So that's all very important. Item number 3 that was reflected as our stormwater management requirements. I don't know if you could notice, and I don't know if there's a way to go back to the comparative plans. The stormwater guidelines in the state of Virginia have changed significantly over the past 20 years. Optically, the most visible change in our plan is the addition of the 2 large blue ponds, and that's really a stormwater regulation that we had to adhere to that was different than it was in 2006. So we were forced to design our plan to meet current regulations. That is really the biggest change in our plan, and the zoning administrator found that the 2025 development plan accommodates these updated engineering requirements while maintaining the intended neighborhood character. Lastly, the guiding design principles. It was found that our guiding principles, that the guiding principle expressed on page 4 of the existing guidelines have been adhered to in the new layout, and the plan supports a walkable, well-landscaped neighborhood with a focus on community-oriented open space, continuity of architectural style, and compatibility with the greater Newport development. So we're asking for your approval of our conditional use permit, which really allows us to continue to move forward. We are in site design right now. We've submitted civil plans to the city, and we are asking for your support of our continued progress in bringing Newport Phase 2 to a reality. And with that, I'm out of time, and I will remain available for questions. So thank you again for your time this evening.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Tillage, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that presentation.
If you could stay at the podium, because if any questions come, we would ask.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate the presentation. My question to you is, in the world that we're facing today with the mission on being able to address affordability and the goal of people being able to achieve home ownership, that is a top priority for many of our citizens here in the city of Portsmouth. And so my question to you is there a plan that's a part of this development that helps to address the affordability aspect and the ability for people to be able to purchase their first home?
Yeah, thank you for that. A couple of highlights for Newport. There are several types of affordability. There's mandated or regulated affordability, where you have a law or a guideline that's kind of proposed and propagated by a municipality or an agency. That type of affordability can be challenging at times. And then there's a market-driven affordability, and there's affordability through design. Newport was originally set up to be affordable by design. There's density on the site. There's a mix of residential housing types, and its location proximate to employment centers, to major tourism drivers, other things, make it a very, very desirable location. But more importantly, and directly to affordability, average home price in Hampton Roads is creeping up on $500,000. Average new home cost in Hampton Roads is high 400,000s, if not at $500,000 already. Our entry-level pricing for Newport will be in the high 200s. Our average price will be somewhere in the mid-3s, upper $300,000 range. And this is affordability, again, through market dynamics and through design. So at the end of the day, we will have, I think our average pricing will be well below or more than $100,000 below the average price of a new home in the rest of the region. That's by design, and that's the way Newport was set up.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that answer. With the rising cost of housing, as you may mention, is in Portsmouth, the average house is about $320,000 roughly. But the average salary in Portsmouth does not meet that of a $300,000 home. The average salary in Portsmouth is probably somewhere between $35,000 and $40,000. And so to be able to afford that $320,000 house, you need to make well above that $35,000 to $40,000 to be able to purchase that property. So my question would be, would this development be willing to allocate 10% of the development to be attainable and affordable units? I've been across the country touring on different conferences and with other cities to look at their affordable housing and their housing developments. And they have built developments that include market rate homes, and they're mixed in with affordable units. You can't tell the difference between any of the units on the outside. But it allows for people to be able to have mixed income communities, which creates that vibrant community that we're looking for here in the city of Portsmouth, while being able to address the housing needs of our citizens, so that everybody can be able to achieve that goal of homeownership. Because, like I said, in Portsmouth, our residents are making, not all of them, but a good majority, the average is about that $40,000 mark. And so for them to be able to afford a high 200s or mid 300s is a stretch.
Right.
Is that something that you all would be willing to look into?
It's certainly something that we would consider. I would say Newport is a little unique. A lot of these communities where there are mixes and what I'll call mandated or regulated affordability components, they're developments that are coming on from scratch. Oftentimes you get density bonuses for doing affordability so you can increase your density. We don't have any of that flexibility with our existing zoning that's been in place for 20 years and it's vested. The other thing that is unique about Newport relative to some of these other communities that you're probably referring to is Newport was originally developed, one of the financing vehicles used to develop the infrastructure that exists today were Community Development Act bonds. And this property, along with the remainder of Newport, is still burdened by those Community Development Act bonds.
Yep.
And so we have to be at a certain level of marketability and value to service the bonds, to pay for the development work, and to do all that. And not having that component contemplated with a density bonus or something else from the onset makes it challenging to come in now to try to force that piece. I can say though that we will be the lowest priced new home community in Southampton Roads. I can tell you that. I can commit to that with you. From an affordability standpoint, how that stacks up and what the definition of affordability is there's some subjectivity to that. So our intent would be, our request would be to stay with the original plan. It's a very well thought out plan. There is affordability components through the design of the plan that allow us to achieve some of those price points. Doing it in a mandated or regulated fashion at this stage is more challenging.
Okay. And my last question would be, in regards to that, would be, well, my last two questions. Is there an HOA that's going to be subjected to these properties?
Yes, there will be an HOA. There is an existing Newport HOA that is traditional with these types of developments. Generally, those developments, when they're established and the HOAs are established, there is property that is identified as additional property. This was one of them that can be annexed within a certain time by the original developer, by the original declarant. Well, Newport Phase 2 and Newport Phase 3, for that matter, were never annexed into the existing HOA. So we're not subjected to that HOA, but the design guidelines say that it shall be governed by an HOA. So yes, we will have an HOA. Our HOA will be responsible for maintenance of the amenities. Our amenity package is more enhanced than what is even required in the existing design guidelines.
Gotcha. So the HOA will be an HOA, but it'll be separate from the current HOA.
That's correct.
Because I do know that the HOA fee that currently exists in that current property is not affordable.
Yes, so
which will take the mortgage payments for these individuals way out of affordability.
Yeah, it's that's the biggest component of that is a communications agreement that is baked into the existing HOA that I agree with you 100%, Councilman Tillage, is a burden on that portion and does impact affordability. So our HOA will not have any such enhanced costs or forced expenses onto the residents of Newport Phase 2, such as that.
Gotcha. And then my last statement is more of a statement. So this is for Phase 2 today, and of course for Phase 3 when you all work on that later on in the future, I would like to see, how we could maybe incorporate, you may mention that one being more multifamily, things of that nature, see how we can make that more affordable.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we only acquired Phase 2. Another group owns Newport Phase 3 that is unaffiliated with us.
Gotcha. All right, thank you. All
So those are separate owners.
right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Thomas, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the presentation. I want to make sure I'm clear on the use permit request. Can you go back to that slide with it had the left and right comparison numbers? So, yeah, keep right here. Okay, so in the package, which was rather long, I wrote down just to make sure I'm clear, there's 169 condominiums units or stacked townhomes. Is that correct? That's what was presented in the package versus 131 multifamily dwellings. Okay, so I see the 131, I think I'm reading this correctly, multifamily dwellings, but then I see 169 in the package. So there's like a difference from here than what's on page 6 in the package. Just wanted to get some clarity there, Dr. Russell. It's not a big difference, but just wanted to make sure we're clear on the numbers and the units that we're voting on. Page 6, yeah, I think I saw it on page 6 of the package that we have in our documents, where it says, I'll tell you, let me see, I'll tell you what paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth paragraph. That says,
Dr. Russell, can you
Yes, I'm going to
address
try.
this?
Yes. So I have, and I'm going to lean heavily on the applicant for support, 299 attached units, and they are distributed with 136 stacked, 163 townhouse units, and then detached units, 199 units.
okay, yeah, and the package is defined, and it kind of lays it out. I had to make a table just to make sure I'm tracking, but for parcel A, B, C, D, and E, totaling that up to 169 condominiums. So if that, and then the 131 for product B, is right under that diagram on page 7. So I just wanted to make sure that we are consistent with what we're voting on, from what's in the package versus what's here. Maybe just if there's clarity of how I'm reading this package, let me know, and maybe I'm on the wrong section.
Trying to find the page.
And
that
thank you,
you're
Dr.
on.
Russell.
You-
I'm on I'm sorry. It's page for you, it's page 3 of 7. In our document, it's like page 7 of 122. So, but page 3 of 7 for file number use permit 25-11. Do you see it right under the diagram with the parcels?
The applicant proposes to create 131 townhouse units, is that?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And the 199 detached units, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So-
here it's 136. Is
Yeah,
there?
I
okay.
think I can clarify.
Okay.
Thank you. Melissa Venable is our land planning and civil engineer. There are, so the conditional use permit is applicable to all attached housing, townhouses and condominiums. Some of our townhouse lots are actually fee simple lots. They are not subjected to a condominium regime. So, and I think that's what
Okay.
we're referring to. Yeah. So some of the condominium, the units listed as condominium units, also require a site plan. So that number could vary depending on whether it's an attached fee simple lot or a condominium
Okay.
attached lot.
Okay, so
But
there's a
it's
small
still
variance.
200 and, round numbers,
299.
299 total units that is being considered under the attached housing and conditional use permit.
Okay.
Which is a portion of the entitled zoning.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, if you would please come, ma'am. I'm sorry, but I need you to, you can come up, ma'am, you can come up and speak to the issue. I need you to come to the microphone so that we can hear you. I have a bit of a cold, so my
I
voice-
apologize. This graphic that Tim was referring to is actually in that presentation, if it helps for everyone to be looking at the same thing. But it just notes or shows the exact units that would be needed to have that condominium overlay as opposed to just being fee simple townhouse. That was all.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. And thank you. Other question I had, let me see, a few questions here. There was a question or email from the applicant in this package regarding condition 3, something regarding, condition 3 regarding apartments, parentheses, rental units. But I thought this use permit is only regarding basically condominiums or townhomes. Can I get an explanation? Mr. Carter, I just want to direct that question to Dr. Russell, just on that piece of the application process. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilwoman Thomas, in the Planning Commission deliberations,
Okay.
and the Planning Commission deliberations regarding this use permit request, and I don't recall if it was the applicant or commissioners, but standard boilerplate condition that we attach to multifamily lease units is video recording, continuous camera recording of the activities. And so the commission agreed to consider language that would only require what we call CTV recording in the event that the development product was not an owner product, but a leased rental, not per unit, but a development that was multifamily rental.
Okay. So that might be in effect for the next phase. I don't know if I'm using it, or the next product, or not at all. That's not applicable here because they're not rental development.
It is not,
Okay.
it is not applicable here, and I can't speak to the next phase. I'm not
Okay.
sure what their plan entails.
Okay, and then also, I saw comments from the schools regarding possible density or support needed as a result of increased student family population. I don't have any comments or questions per se, but I did want to bring that note to my council colleagues, just that we as a council understand that we support housing and development, but that means that we also have to support future development and for our schools, which I'm sure we all do. So just wanted to bring that point, that is a point of consideration as we continue to develop these areas. There were also comments from fire about density, but I don't think it was a stopper. The only other question I had, I didn't see any comments from engineering, and I see our last traffic study was for this project in its totality was completed in the initial phase from 2004. With the development of the casino, future planning that's happening, development that's happened with the phase 1 of this, is there a need to update the traffic study per se? And I don't see I want to ask that to Mr. Carter to then ask city planning around that. How often, as we do these larger phased out developments, should we be updating our traffic studies, since the last one for this particular development was 2004?
Okay.
Floor.
All right. As they get further along in that design phase where they actually get the engineering department to help or reply or provide comments to what their designs are, those kind of things will be addressed at that point. So we haven't got there yet. So-
Okay.
But
All right.
there'll be other comment points.
That is definitely, okay, thank you, sir. And that's definitely something I hope we revisit for more often as we continue to make these developments, because I do think that 20 years is a bit too long to wait as we are moving forward, like to kind of reassess what's been impacted, did the traffic patterns happen in the way that we expected them to happen, and so forth. So that's my recommendation here, but thank you for the design. I like the plan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I just, Mr. Mayor, may I just respond to her just for that one question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Councilwoman Thomas, just for clarity, we, as Mr. Carter indicated, once we get a little further in our engineering there, or when engineering gets a little further, there would be a study. We're at that point, and we've actually taken the traffic study that was done for the casino. We've added some of our density to that to project what traffic improvements would be required, and those recommended improvements were part of our second submittal of civil plans to the city for review. So we've taken that step of updating that. We're at that point and have done that, and we've implemented the recommendations of SEC.
And I did, thank you for that. I did see that you all took, it was like 3 recommendations. I think you all, 2 had already been implemented, and there was another, but quote, there was 3 total, I think. So I do agree there, but I do think that it's
Sure.
pertinent to the city that we always go back and account for what does it really look like. And then before I end, I just want to reemphasize that with the development, the schools did make comments that they will need additional support staff and resources as we continue to build in this development area. So as a council, I think agreeing to current development or future development also means that we have to continue to have that conversation with our schools on how that support looks for our schools as well. So thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Dotson, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm not sure where this question goes. I think it's going to go to Dr. Russell and to you. One of our concerns that we've had ongoing is the maintenance of the retention ponds. One of our neighborhoods, the Peachtree neighborhood, some of the neighborhoods aren't paying, and I'm concerned that is there any bite in the homeowners association and the fees in case people decide 50% of us aren't going to pay anymore. Are there plans for that, and as a city, are we accounting for that in the future as we talked about before?
From my perspective, Dr. Dodson, yes, the HOA would be responsible for the perpetual maintenance of the stormwater ponds. That is going to be in our HOA documents. It's going to be a responsibility of the homeowners association. How that has gotten complicated is some of these stormwater ponds are not under the purview of an HOA, or the HOA doesn't have teeth, as you suggested,
Right, that's what
to really enforce that.
Right.
All of our HOAs have lien rights. They have foreclosure rights. They have very formidable teeth for those who don't pay, because it's those associations are established to maintain and enhance value of your property. So having those maintenance obligations considered in your budget and being an ongoing responsibility that's funded by the homeowners is paramount, and having some enforcement provisions in those, some lien rights is really what it is. The HOA will ultimately have lien rights to lien property through the court system to enforce their rights for payment.
And just so we're clear, that's not a city function.
That is not a
So
city
that-
function.
The city
That's
has
correct.
nothing to do with that process. That is not a city function.
I understand, but we had discussed with planning at one point how we could, our concern with the lack of maintenance for these developments of these retention ponds, and were we going to speak about handling this for future developments? I didn't know whether we'd made any progress with that, but it sounds like for this one, he's answered the question quite well.
Okay. Thank you. Our next speaker is Councilman Hugo.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Culper, thanks for your commitment to invest in housing in Portsmouth. As has always been commented, we certainly need the housing. So my first comment's kind of piling on to what Councilwoman Thomas spoke to, and that is, at our most recent school board liaison meeting, we had a conversation with the school board chair and the superintendent around the development that City Council is reviewing and in many cases approving, and the potential impact that will have on schools. So it's good to see that we got detailed comments back from the schools in the package. Those comments address the staffing issues that this will create, but doesn't, interestingly, address the fact that there are 10 classrooms, roughly, that would be needed to accommodate the students. And in particular, I think the elementary students will be at Victory, which is already overflowing into trailers in the backyard. So just for our own benefit, we will need to think about school infrastructure as part, not just staffing, but also where the kid's going to sit. And then for you, Mr. Culpepper, back during the Planning Commission, I think you all were asked by the commissioners if you had engaged the Phase 1 HOA to talk through kind of what your plans are and whatnot. The answer then was no, as I recall. From then until now, I'm wondering if you had done that. And the reason I'm asking is I think just today maybe we were engaged by the HOA wanting to get some insight into what your plans are. So can you speak to that, please?
Excuse me, yes, sir. To date, we have not had a formal meeting with the HOA. Because our plans don't constitute a change in the intended use, we haven't reached out because our plans are 100% in conformance with what's been planned for 20 years. What we do by practice is once we get approved plans and we have more clarity on our schedule and when we'll start and when there'll be construction activity and construction traffic that is in the vicinity of existing residents, we will reach out to them. We'll advise them of when we're going to start, what our construction schedule will be. We don't have that clarity tonight because we haven't gone through full plan approval or gotten full approval on our civil design plans. Once we get there, we'll have that engagement. We will also, there'll be a dedicated project manager to Newport Phase 2. Residents will have direct contact information for that person. So if there's an issue, we'll have phone numbers on our board for emergency contacts. So yeah, we will have that engagement once we have more clarity on our schedule and when some of the growing pains of construction will be imminent, so they can be prepared for that.
Okay, I heard what you said. I understand what you said and why you said it. I'm going to encourage you as a good neighbor to at least make contact with that HOA and maybe fill them in on kind of where you stand and
Absolutely.
and the information that's been publicly presented tonight, just to kind of open the dialogue as you go through this process. But again, thanks for investing in housing in Portsmouth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and I echo what my colleague just said about thanking you for your investment in Portsmouth, and also the continuation of what was an exciting kickoff on the announcement back in 2005 when Council approved the development. In approving that development, we also approved the formation of the Development Authority that was formed to pay for the roads, infrastructure, utilities, lighting, and we did that, and of course then the formation of the authority did a bond issuance of over $16 million to pay for those things. And I guess my question, we mentioned the HOA, but there was a community development authority formed. So my question to our attorney, are they one and the same? Is the development authority the same as the HOA? It's my understanding that they aren't. Okay, so who is the authority?
Mr. Challenger, you have the floor, sir. Click the button.
It's the Newport Development Authority.
Yeah.
And they meet once a year, and one of the members is a resident there. So there is an authority that meets regularly. They have a
Separate from the HOA?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get across. So in the new development, is the city going to be footing the bill for any of the infrastructure? Because we didn't in the initial development through the Newport Development Authority.
No, sir, there's no city funding of the new development work moving forward, at least not in Newport Phase 2.
Okay. And my other question, since those special assessments are included within the our real estate assessments in the same bill, do we know, and my question's not to you, it's to staff and our assessor, and he may have to get back with us, are those, any of those delinquent? And I would invite our assessor to come to answer that.
Mr. Edwards, if you would come forward, please.
Correct. I will have to get back to you on that. I'll have to check.
Okay, and I didn't want to put you in the spot, but I think it's good for council to know that, because those assessments are really in the form of a lien. Each buyer, if the property is sold, the lien is still on the property. So that, I've always wondered, since that is the case and the lien stays with the property, is that computed in with your price? I think you mentioned the sale price is going to be somewhere in the twos.
Yes, sir. From a starting standpoint, they'll be in the high 200s, and yes, it is contemplated in there. There's an enhanced assessment that's paid through real estate taxes, as you suggested, Councilman Moody. To my knowledge, we're paid to date. I do know that we did pay a single assessment, what I would say in protest, in written protest, and that was for an assessment period that was prior to our ownership. It was as of the auction date and not as of the date that we actually took title to the property. That also has been paid. Relative to Newport Phase 2, I think everything has been paid.
So all the assessments
Yes, sir.
Of the properties
That's correct.
are up to date.
That's right.
Terrific. Okay, thank you. Thank you again for the investment. It is exciting to see this project come to final fruition. So
Thank you.
Thank you again.
We're excited about moving it forward.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you all for your engagement. Thank you, Mr. Culpepper, for your engagement. And I will echo all of my colleagues' sentiment in that 22 years is a long time, but we finally see a way forward, and we appreciate the investment and subsequent partnership. I would encourage you to reach out to all parties that need to be just updated. It's
Absolutely.
It's good neighborly practices.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If you wish to come speak on this item, you're not required to sign up, but you are required to state your name and address, and you will have 5 minutes. Seeing none, this public hearing is closed. Colleagues, we are in need of a motion and a second.
Move adoption.
Second.
Any additional discussion? Please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
That concludes our public hearing items on the agenda. We now move to city manager's report.
Y'all want me?
We now move to city manager's report.
Thank
Vice Mayor Moody, you have the floor.
thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to alter the agenda.
We have a motion to alter agenda and a second. Please vote electronically.
This motion is adopted 7-0.
Mayor, I'd also like to make a motion at this time that we vote on the city manager's report in its entirety.
Please vote excuse me.
Wait,
Is there any discussion on this item?
I need to read the items first.
Okay. Okay, before we vote on it? Okay, got it.
Okay. Item 2608, adoption of an ordinance accepting settlement funds in the amount of $85,832.12 from the PFAS settlement with DuPont and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Public Utilities Fund for use by the Department of Public Utilities for water supply and testing and treatment and other authorized uses under the term of the settlement. 26-09, adoption of an ordinance accepting respite care funding in the amount of $2,070 from the Virginia Department of Social Services and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Social Services Fund for direct supervision of children by respite care providers. 26-10, adoption of an ordinance accepting a vacation starts with VA MMLP co-op program grant in the amount of $1,250 from the Virginia Tourism Corporation and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 grants fund for use by the Department of Museums and Tourism and for marketing. 26-11, adoption of an ordinance accepting funding in the amount of $53,623 from the Virginia Office of Children's Services and appropriating said funds in the FY 2026 Social Services Fund for Children's Services Act administrative costs. 26-12, adoption of an ordinance accepting universal service schools and libraries, E-rate, program funds in the amount of $23,978 from Cox Enterprises and appropriating said sum in the FY 2026 general fund for use by the Department of Libraries. 26-13, adoption of an ordinance accepting an allocation of $123,630 from the State Compensation Board Technology Trust Fund and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Grants Fund for use by the Portsmouth Circuit Court Clerk's Office to fund technology maintenance and improvements. 26-14, adoption of an ordinance accepting a specialty docket grant in the amount of $104,926.09 from the Office of the Executive Secretary of the Supreme Court of Virginia and appropriating said funds in the FY 2026 Behavioral Health Care Service Fund for use in connection with the Portsmouth Adult Recovery Court. 26-15, adoption of an ordinance accepting workforce funding in the amount of $174,966 from the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services as distributed by Region 5 and appropriating said funds in the FY 2026 Behavioral Healthcare Service Fund for use in connection with employee signing or retention bonuses or other workforce initiatives. And finally, 26-16, adoption of an ordinance accepting settlement funds in the amount of $269,765.39 from opioid settlement and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Behavioral Health Care Service Fund for use by BHS for approved abatement purposes as defined by the Virginia Opioid Fund and Settlement Allocation MOU.
We have the motion and the second. Is there any discussion? Please vote electronically.
These items are adopted 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is new business 2617, boards and commissions. Councilman Hugo, do we have any boards or commissions to report?
Mr. Mayor, we have no board and commission business for this evening. Thank you.
Next item, thank you. Next item, 26-18. Item submitted by council members. Councilman Tillage, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one announcement I want to make. On next Tuesday, January the 20th, at 7 p.m., the Virginia Symphony will be hosting its annual Martin Luther King concert at IC Norcom at 7 o'clock. And this is a great opportunity for you to bring your family out to be able to enjoy some good music while being able to commemorate the great legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And this year, they will also be honoring a member of our community. And so please come out and be a part of that great night. And I'm very proud to say that the Virginia Symphony is really investing their time and their energy here in the city of Portsmouth to be able to bring fun, good family fun entertainment to our citizens and also introducing others to what the symphony really is.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Dotson, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you. City Manager, I apologize that I'm bringing this up at this time. I should have brought it up in our meeting. The 250 celebration, I know we've talked about a harbor master over and over and over. Do we have some designation for that? And would you mind getting back to me at a later date with the considerations that we're making for that? And my apologies. Secondly, my only big announcement is I finally got a library tour, and I was amazed at how our library operates on a string budget for the services they give. Amazing book selection in the basement. Just a neat place to hang out. I'd love for everybody to visit it.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Bryant, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you for that segue, Councilman Dodson. Had the pleasure today of visiting the Main Street Library branch, which opened a new exhibit, so I encourage you to stop by. It runs through the end of February. It is on loan from Alexandria, and it displays the process for Alexandria's sit-in 1939, which then led to the eventual integration of Virginia public libraries. So while you're there, you can read that history, and you can also visit the history room in the bottom of the Main Street branch, which is open Mondays and Tuesdays from 10 to 4, and get some access to some of Portsmouth's very own history, which parallels in many ways the Alexandria example. Tomorrow, we hope that you will join us for Rock the Block. We will be in Prentice Park. The meeting place is Pearl and Jefferson Streets at 9 a.m. And excited to have our behavioral health care teams and social services teams out there on site to share information about the services that they offer. So please come out and join city staffers. This is a wonderful initiative. Lots of city staff come out and blanket a neighborhood and give it lots of loving care. Also want to shout out our fire, EMS, and dispatchers who Councilman Tillage, the mayor, and Councilman Hugel and I got to attend the firefighter awards last week. Was it last week? And celebrate their hard work and bravery over the last year. So that was a wonderful experience. And just to Councilwoman Thomas's point and Councilman Hugel's point about the new development that we just approved with our schools, we will certainly have that conversation tomorrow when we have our next school board liaison meeting. So looking forward to talking to our school partners more about that and upcoming developments in the city. So thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman Thomas, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I just want to give a shout out and say Happy Founders Day to the women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. This week, as a member, I had the pleasure to speak with the Portsmouth Alumni Chapter Social Action Committee for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Part of Delta, their mission involving social action and being active. And so the chapter, they wanted to know how they could be more involved and active in supporting the city's efforts, and we talked about a lot of the development there. They gave great feedback, which I want to follow up on here, regarding just being more aware of what we have going on in the city and increasing our outreach to the community. So one of them gave a suggestion about making sure all of our faith-based community, all of our churches are actually sent those messages from Portsmouth Connect. So I just wanted to pass that on to our city manager and Mr. Peter Gagola for possibly connecting all of our faith-based communities or organizations to our Portsmouth notification so that they can spread the word to their members, their congregation, about things that they can support in terms of volunteer efforts, community engagement, and so forth. So they also gave great feedback around some of the things that they want to support around medical care, urgent care, and so many other things with civic engagement. So we had a great conversation. I want to just say Happy Founder's Day and thank them for their active service in the community. And on that part, I did want to follow up. We had a great discussion at our work session, City Council work session yesterday, and we talked about an upcoming public interest meeting for our Crawford Bay development. And so I just wanted to see if there was an update on the location for that first public interest meeting that's scheduled to happen on January 28th. Anything yet?
Mr. Carter.
Mr.
you have the
Carter.
floor, sir.
No, ma'am. We
Okay.
talked about it last night. We haven't solidified anything thus far.
Okay,
But
well, okay,
we will
so-
let you know as soon as we do.
All right, so no location yet, TBD, but to the public, the first public interest meeting for the Crawford Bay development will happen January 28th. So I encourage everyone to stay updated on the city's website, social media pages, however we're going to send it out, because your input and just bringing you along in this process is very important. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Vice Mayor Moody, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. A citizen came to me last week with a suggestion of all things on our panhandling signs. They say our signs say contribute to the solution, but they offer no direction for the solution. And since then, I've noticed that I believe it's the city of Chesapeake has, in addition to their no panhandling signs, a number for people who want to be part of the solution to contact. So if staff could look into that, I think that's a great idea. Instead of just a generalization of being part of the solution, I think we should point them in the right direction to be the solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Hugel.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor.
Sir, you have the
So it's 2026, and that means this summer, July the 4th, the nation will celebrate our 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Here locally, we've had a committee that's been stood up for more than a year now, planning the events associated with that 250th celebration. This morning, leadership of that committee met with the mayor, city manager, and city staff to talk about one important event upcoming. I want to share it because you'll want to put a placeholder on your calendar. The third weekend in June, June 19th to the 22nd, is Sail 250. Sail 250 is a tall ship visit to the Hampton Roads Harbor. It'll be the largest tall ship visit along the East Coast, dating all the way back to OpSail 2012. So 14 years since we've had the collection of tall ships make port here in Hampton Roads, like we're going to see on the third weekend in June. So there are history activities that are being planned. There are fun activities that are being planned. We expect to have out-of-towners bust their way here to see the tall ships and to celebrate with us. So please mark your calendars for the third weekend in June, which will be the celebration of Sail 250. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And last, I would like to share with everyone, on January 19th, the leaders of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Gamma Delta Omega chapter will have a MLK day of service. It's going to take place at the Social Services Building, starting, I believe, at 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. They're asking citizens to bring items. It's listed on our website. Please participate if you can, and if nothing else, stop by, encourage, those leaders who are working to help those individuals and the school students in our community. Thank you. Item 26-19, report on pending items. Mr. Carter, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple items. One is you already have our report back, so please take a look at that and let me know if there's any comments or questions about anything that's listed there. I also want to make an announcement for our main library. I think it's on the 17th. The singer Melba Moore will be there doing a book signing. So if you're a fan of that genre of music, she will be in our main library on January the 17th. And finally, to all of you who have reached out and all the well wishes to my wife, I thank you for all that you've said and done to try and make that process easier for her and her family. So thank you very much. I'll be going to join them tomorrow. So just to let you know, Dr. Coleman will be around to handle all the appointments in my stead. But again, thank you so much for all that you've done to support us in this situation.
You're welcome, sir, and we wish you safe travels and continued prayers from your Portsmouth family here in the city. Our next item, 26-20, non-agenda speakers. Madam Clerk, would you please read the speaker's statement?
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, City Council rules require a limit of up to 5 minutes to speak. As you approach the speaker's podium, you will notice the timer. At the beginning of your 5 minutes, you will see a green light. 4 minutes into your remarks, you will notice a yellow light. At the end of 5 minutes, you will see a red light, hear beep, and we ask that you conclude your comments at that time. While speakers have an opportunity to address council on matters of public concern, all matters should be I'm sorry, I am reading this wrong. While speakers have an opportunity to address council on matters of public concern, all comments should be made in a manner that respects the seriousness of the forum and should not be made in a belligerent, sarcastic, or demeaning fashion. All remarks shall be directed to the city council as a body rather than any particular member of city council, staff, or the audience, and should be limited to matters that only the Portsmouth City Council can influence. A speaker who fails to observe this basic rule of decorum will be deemed out of order and not allowed to conclude his or her comments.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
And with that announcement, our first speaker tonight is Mr. William Richardson. If you would come forward, state your name and address, sir. You will have 5 minutes.
Council. Mayor, my name is William Richardson, also known as Bink Richardson. I'm the owner of Richardson Top of the Line Tree Service.
Could you please speak into the mic a little more, sir, so we can hear you?
There you go.
My name is William Richardson, also known as Bink Richardson. I am the first African-American state arborist ISA certified in the state of Virginia. My business is out of 55 Hobson Street, Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm here with the disbursement from the last 5 years. I believe it's important that we speak on this because there's some things in here that really puzzled me looking at it, going through it page by page and looking at the budgets of the last 5 years too. So with that being known, I'm gonna say justified wrongs for manipulated loyalty and false narrative in order to secretly commit criminal acts and benefit friends of friends in political positions to orchestrate organized crime activity as a city official. There was attempted murders, Ponzi schemes, racketeering, embezzlements, misappropriation of city funds behind the back of the CFO and the city manager, and then purposely misinforming the people of the city of Portsmouth to gain high-ranking city officials and their constituents for their personal bank accounts.
Councilman Moody, sir, you have the floor.
Mayor, excuse me, point of order. Our rules state that speakers do not mention or criticize people by name or title. especially when everyone knows who the title holder is.
Your point of order is taken, sir. You need to speak to the issue. If you're unable to speak to the issue, that's okay.
I can. Okay, so pretty much in the disbursement, there's coercion, collusion, conspiracy. There's a lot of misappropriated funds. There's a lot of things that link to things in our city that have happened in our city, things that even trumped our crime rate. These things need to be looked into, and pretty much when you sit and you speak on these things, they say a hit dog will holler. So, you know, in here there's shell companies that link to city officials, and it's not right. And pretty much it was stated by the past CFO and city manager. She stated that the criminal acts was done and you could find them in the city disbursement.
Sir, we're still going down that track.
So
we're not here to approve or deny criminal acts. That's not the issue. You need to speak to the concern.
Yeah, I'm speaking to the
We can't
concern.
affect that. We can't affect that as a council in that manner in this discussion today. So if you don't have anything other than that, I think you need to change the line that you're
well,
delivering.
there's nothing more to say. It proved the point.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. David Hurst. Sir, if you would come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
My name is David Hurst, and I'm at 10 Crawford Parkway. And I'm a tourist. Came across the northern tier of the U.S., picked up a boat in New London, Connecticut, and I'm sailing down the coast. Found Portsmouth, and I kind of like it here. I've been here 2 years. And if somebody was going to say, you know, what do you dislike about Portsmouth? And I have to say not much, but there's a couple things. Okay. Restrooms and sidewalks. Okay. Sidewalks are wonderful. You've got these brick pavers. Man, they need a lot of work. And you don't seem to have an organized and systematic approach with systems and processes where you have a couple guys out taking care of things. I can see places where it's been marked for 2 years, the paint's wearing off, nobody's done anything about it. This is under your responsibility. What's up with that? The second thing is the cleanliness of the parking garage. When I got here, the restrooms were open and they were kept clean. And now they're shut down. They're open 1 day a month, and that's when they have the flea market in there. And the stairwells smell like a manure pit on a farm. And if you don't have any experience with that, all you have to do is walk down to the Midtown garage, walk in there, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They're urinating in the stairwells, on the stairs, against the walls, and you don't have an open restroom, although it's designated a public restroom. And I've talked to some of you people, and you say, oh, you're aware of it, but why isn't anything being done about it? The next thing is, talking is not doing. I've talked to some of you people, and I mean, I've seen 4 of you people on Saturday mornings downtown, and I've suggested it, and this is what you're aware of it, and you say, wow, our new slogan is this. Well, slogans don't accomplish anything. Not until somebody picks up the tools and gets to work is anything done. Slogans are just a feel-good excuse for not doing something. So you want people to come here. That's what everybody says. You want people to come to Portsmouth. But when you invite somebody over to your house, do you leave the restroom in the worst, do you not clean it for 2 weeks or a month? Because that's what you're showing. Every time. So what's up with that? I was asked if I was going to harass you, and I said, no, I'm not going to harass you. But I'm going to harass you a little bit because you guys are tough enough to take it. But it shows. It's just the lack of taking care of the small things shows. So how are you going to get people here? The only thing that's worked consistently that I've seen in my lifetime is festivals. People like festivals. And it's not one festival or two festivals. A town in Washington State where I'm from, it's the city capital, or the state capital, it's Olympia. It's about the size of Portsmouth. And they have a busy agenda every weekend of the year. They've got a festival for this, a festival for that. We have oyster festivals, clam festivals, mussel festivals, tugboat races. You name it, we have it. So I won't take any more of your time. I'm not going to harass you further. I love the town. I love the climate. But come on, please. Clean up the act.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Dotson, sir, you have the floor.
Do we have an update on this? Because we discussed it at a previous meeting. City manager? Do we have an update on those restrooms he's talking about? Because we had discussed it a couple meetings ago.
I don't remember the discussion, but no, I don't have an update at this time.
Can we get one?
I can get you an update.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rachel Copeland. Rachel, if you would come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Rachel Copeland. I own Cooper's Restaurant located at 3112 High Street. And this is Pastor Sheila S. She is one of my partners. She partners with me on Monday nights to host Project Phoenix, which is a Christian-based drug, alcohol, PTSD, anxiety, depression support group that we host at the restaurant every Monday night. And on the first Monday of each month, we feed a free dinner at that meeting as well. And we would love to have some of y'all come down and see what it's about, because we would like to find avenues where we can better promote it through the city. Her organization is eligible to sign off, so if it's court mandated treatment programs, we have the ability, they sign in on a sign-in sheet and it can work for their PO officer, all of that. So we would like to find out more ways to deal with that. I'd also like to give you an update. The free feeding that I did in November, Pastor Sheila partnered with me on that as well. We had, probably 10, 15 different pastors, missionaries, evangelists, a slew of volunteers. We ended up serving 720 free dinners to the city of Portsmouth. Probably, final count, we counted about 40 to 50 people that rededicated or came to Christ for their first time. Don't know how many hundreds of people got prayer, how many times we broke out into song. We had a Holy Ghost good time up in my restaurant. And the last time I was here, I asked all of you guys if you remembered that the city of Portsmouth actually had a song. And I don't believe any of y'all remembered it, but I'd like to read it real quick. I'm trying not to go over our time. And this is presented on behalf of Project Phoenix and Cooper's Restaurant. Portsmouth is for people. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people, of a good place to live, work, and play, where we can help one another, treat each other as a brother. The time to begin is today. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people. With our help, it surely will grow. Starting now, you are invited to work together united. If we reap, first we have to sow. And if you try, you will find a world of joy waiting for you, and you will see why your peace of mind is derived from the great things that you do. Portsmouth helping people, all kinds of people. Just open your eyes and you will see that Portsmouth is for people, and with people helping people, it would be a better home for you and me. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people, a good place to live, work, and play, where we can help one another, treat each other like a brother. The time to begin is today. Just watch us grow. You're sure to know that Portsmouth is for people. And we would like to present this to y'all to hopefully find some place in City Hall to hang it, to call all of us back to this. And the young men and women that were up here this morning at the beginning of the meeting embodied that. It represented that if we all come together as community, we can make this city back to the light on the hill it used to be and get rid of the negative that everybody says about it. So I call all of you, I call the entire city of Portsmouth. Let's raise our hands together and work together, not divided. And I'd like Pastor Sheila, real quick, if she can, just to talk more on Project Phoenix. Hi, my name's Sheila.
Unfortunately, she's not a registered speaker, so that's not our procedure.
Okay.
But she's welcome to come back, and we'd love to hear more about it. So I think it's an ongoing ministry. We'd love to hear more later.
Can I give a little bit then, briefly?
You can give a little bit briefly. You still have some time.
We go through the 12 steps. It is based off of the 12 steps with the Bible backing of it. And what we try and teach is true recovery, that through Christ, through counsel, through meeting together and stuff, you don't ever, no longer have to claim, I'm an alcoholic. You don't have to keep calling that condemnation down on you. Through Christ and through community and through binding together and having people support us and uplift us, you can truly be healed from alcohol, drugs, whatever, and begin to see that life that Christ envisioned for you that we don't envision for ourselves, where we're so deep in the tunnels. So that's what we're all about.
Thank you, Ms. Copeland. Thank you for that presentation. And Councilman Moody, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Copeland, for gifting our city's song. And in saying that, I don't know that we've ever adopted that as our official city song. I don't recall it during my tenure here. And it reminds me of my late colleague, Councilwoman Marlene Randall. Marlene used to invoke the city song quite often. She may have even broke out in song on occasion. I won't do that. Won't spare you. And Mayor, if my colleagues are in agreement, I think we should officialize our city song. I don't think we've ever done that. I know states have their official bird, official insect, official plant. I think we need to formalize it and have an official song, because that song encompasses just about everything we're working to accomplish in our city. So that's a wonderful gift, and delighted that you thought of us in bringing that to us. And on another note, I was in your restaurant with the company that I work with a few weeks ago, and I was certainly impressed with the professionalism of your staff and as well as the food. So you have a wonderful restaurant.
I tell everybody I don't own it, God does. He just gave me a job at a mission that I love. And FYI, we are doing another feeding the last Monday in March that will be again open free to the community for anybody who is in need.
All right, and Councilwoman Thomas, ma'am, you have the floor.
Yes, I thank you so much, and your heart and your restaurant represents the best of Portsmouth, so thank you both so much. And I agree with Vice Mayor Moody. I like that song. So I'd say we make it official as well. I did want to ask you can you give the date? You said for Project Phoenix, you said it's the first Monday?
The first Monday, so we meet every Monday, but the first Monday we do a dinner.
Okay.
In conjunction with it, that we would love to have any of y'all attend.
What time is that?
At 7 p.m.
Okay. I think it's great what you're doing, food and healing the soul and mind and body. I'll shout out my own dad over there. He right here. Keep your hand, Dad. My dad is a drug and alcohol abuse counselor, so that's near and dear to my heart, and that you do that in the work that my dad does as well. I think that's amazing. to bring people back fully through that journey and process. So thank you for all that you do and that you're continuing to do, and I hope to make it one of the Mondays to visit. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. And to the request, I will bring that request to our city clerk, who will investigate the process and procedure for that to potentially happen. Is that fair? Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Aaron Cody. Mr. Cody, if you will come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening and Happy New Year, City Council. I am Aaron Cody, and I live at 2908 Tambark Lane. The last time I spoke to you, I described 6 recent examples of when ranked choice voting was used in elections. Tonight, I will explain the legal authority the Portsmouth City Council has to do what Arlington and Charlottesville County boards have already done, adopt ranked choice voting. Code of Virginia, Section 24.2-673.1, ranked choice voting, defines ranked choice voting and authorizes the elections of members of a city council by ranked choice voting. The law requires a city council to consult with the local electoral board and general registrar before deciding to conduct an election by ranked choice voting. The decision to conduct an election by ranked choice voting may be made by a majority vote of the city council that the office being elected serves. The code also provides information about regulations the state board may promulgate and standards the state board may administer or prescribe for voter outreach and public information program for use by any locality conducting ranked choice voting. The House bill passed in 2020, resulting in the code, was supported by both delegates and the senator representing Portsmouth. If there are no changes to the code, the authority for the Portsmouth City Council to adopt ranked choice voting expires on July 1st, 2031. My final presentation will summarize my series of talks and again request the Portsmouth City Council to begin the process of adopting ranked choice voting for city council elections so voters have more power to elect city council members with a demonstrated majority of support. I will be available after this meeting to answer questions and listen to comments. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. Our next speaker, Mr. Sergi O'Neill. Sir, if you will come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. First of all, Happy New Year. Haven't seen you all since late last year. Had to take a few meetings off. First of all, I'd like to say, as far as I'm looking at community engagement, and I would like to say thank you to those who made the decision to have Prentice Park as the first Rock the Block event of 2026. We've suffered a great loss, some great losses over the last few weeks, and especially with our kids. We shouldn't end a year like we ended 2025. I think, you know, if nothing else, it shows the commitment to community service when we take our opportunity like Rock the Block and go into an area that has suffered such tragedy and really try to bring that wholesomeness back and really bring some resources to those in that community that may not know they exist at all. So just thank you all for that. Secondly, with community engagement, I want to point out, and if I'm wrong, please say I'm wrong, Councilman Dotson, he came to my house and we took a tour of Prentice Park. He wanted to see exactly what the situation was, how it looks from the bird's eye view, the boots on the ground view. And I would say it was interesting the night he came because nothing was going on. It was barely anybody outside. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but in any event, he got to see in real time exactly what our community looks like, where some of the issue places are, and listen to some possible solutions on how to address those situations. I don't I know a few, I don't see many of my neighbors that come to city council and really, speak up to what's going on. I know there's a few that do, but many that don't. I actually moved to a new part of, a different part of Prentice Park now, Nashville Avenue. So, and seeing my neighbors on that side of Prentice Park, it's almost like night and day from the area of Duke Street and Elm and all of those. It's almost like a whole different side of town, almost. And even with that, given that I can see Dale's home right outside my front window, it's still like that section of Portsmouth seems like it's like almost a mystery. Anyway, I would like to thank Councilman Dotson for coming out and really seeing what it's about. I always invite any of you all to come to Prentice Park to really get that same tour, to really get to see what has happened, some of the new things that have come up, and some of the same problems that we've dealt with for a long time. Some of these problems have been around since before I was born. In any event, I also would like to add this, and I'm speaking this from a person that's really, very focused on our youth. We have a partnership called Portsmouth United in this city. And Portsmouth United has done some great things to address, crime and other situations in this city. However, I think that from a standpoint of there, I would hope that you all are really paying attention to what Portsmouth United is doing. I can say that Chief Jenkins, he's called my phone. We've had plenty of conversations. We had plenty of face-to-face conversations. I can't say I've seen somebody more dedicated to what he's trying to do with Portsmouth United and bringing everybody together. I would say that I think council members should attend those meetings and get to see those individuals who are partnering with Portsmouth United and get to learn what they do across this city. One thing that I will also say is that, it would give you all an example of some of the people that may not come to this meeting, but may be able to make that meeting and really get to put a face with a name and get to see and get to learn about those organizations and how they really impact Portsmouth. I say all that to say, again, thank you all for what you are doing. I hope the continued improvement across Portsmouth is recognized.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Dotson, you have the floor.
Mr. Neal, you promised me a list of action items from that car ride. I'm still looking forward to that. And if any of you do want to go for a ride, please, he's not a bad driver.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker, Ms. Donna Biggs. Ms. Biggs, if you would come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Donna Biggs. I am the principal that is authorizing the elected to act on my behalf. I live in the Woodbine Farms neighborhood in Churchland. The city council is the agent being authorized to act on my behalf, as well as the residents' behalf to physically work, to get projects done as ordained by the people. Also, as our agents, y'all are required to get the structure of our city in place, not only in reference to the city's departments, as well as throughout the city's environment as a whole, which is supported by our Bill of Rights. Article 1, Section 3 states that government is instituted for the common benefit. That government is or ought to be instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community. of all the various modes and forms of government that is best, which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety, and is most effectually secured against the danger of maladministration. And whenever any government shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community has the right to reform, alter, or abolish it in such a manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public welfare. Last night, there was a presentation given to City Council regarding the waterfront. I recopied it so I could understand what he was trying to tell us. Okay, in this agreement, by division of the Community and Economic Development Authority, is not authorized to make the decisions to create a waterfront development cooperative agreement and present it to the City Council members to enforce. This is evidence that the Portsmouth City government has not instituted any common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community by its maladministration and allowing the historic sites and architecture to be demolished and housing put on the land without the people's consent. And if you look at the section 15.2-2306 of the Code of Virginia, pertains to the preservation of historical sites and architectural areas. So if you look at the rules, so I just thought before I close, this is how much taxes I pay every quarter. What am I getting for it? All right? Here's the voting precincts and low-income census blocks. So you want to keep everybody poor in the city. There's a definition for that, but I can't say it. Then, looking in the budget book is the Community and Economic Development Department, and there's all these divisions in it. And the divisions are separated from the city manager to the deputy, okay? So now, we the people can file a petition to the circuit court to prevent this demolition of historic buildings. This is a call to action to obtain petitions to stop this Marxism takeover of our city. Communism in the city.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Our next speaker is Mr. Sherman Tyler. Mr. Tyler, if you're here, please come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
I think he's gone.
Moving right along, our next speaker is Mr. Philip Johnson. Mr. Johnson, if you are here, state your name and address. Come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
I think he's gone.
Next speaker is Jessica Saxton. Ms. Saxton, if you're here, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
I think she's gone.
And the last speaker is Tawa Downing.
Gone.
They're going as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our speakers for this evening. Thank you all for joining us and participating, and I would ask that you all have safe travels home. There is no more meeting information, and this meeting is adjourned.